Hello, everyone.
We're live.
Actually, I don't think anyone's on there yet.
That's cool. We'll still talk to them like they are because they can watch this again later. So, we've got our oysters today. I mean, check out these beauties. Those look good, right? Stopped at Whole Foods after the gym. Grabbed our oysters. We have two different kinds today. We have, what are they?
Bruce's.
We have Bruce's, and we also have the Sequoia Jewels. Sequoia Jewels are just like Kumamoto's if you guys are oystery snobs like me. They look freaking delicious. We've got our lemon juice. Did you guys know that lemon juice actually enhances absorption of all of the minerals that are in the oysters, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so thanks for joining us if you're here. We wanted to come on and do just like a live Q&A with you guys. We always get lots of questions. And then we want to share a really fun and exciting announcement with you all. So the camera's like a little bit far, or the phone's a little bit far away from me. So type questions and I will totally do my best to like jump up here and see them.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
It's okay. We'll make it work.
Work.
You might just get like me just coming up into you like that.
I got Facebook here. Facebook Live on our...
We're also live in our Facebook group. If you guys aren't in our Facebook group already, you just search Carnivore, Harder, Happier, Healthier on Facebook. Oh, hi, Lauren. I just told someone about you today, my dear. You're amazing. And congratulations on the summit that you're in. Awesome. Sweet. Oh, we have a lot of people joining us. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. If it would be super cool, I think if we did this again, if like other people got their oysters on Friday and like we all got to eat our oysters together. I wonder if there's like a way we could do that on Zoom so we could all see each other.
I'm gonna jump on the grenade and make sure these oysters are suitable to eat.
Yes. We actually locked our kids outside so that we could.
I used to get locked. When I was a kid, I got locked outside a lot
It's
too.
so true. I think I saw a question on here. What nutrients are in oysters? Oh my gosh, such a good question. So
That's a good question.
Oysters are amazing for nutrients. The biggest ones that you'll actually see in high amounts are zinc, selenium, copper, iodine, and B12. That being said, because oysters are actually filtering seawater and they're really taking like the inorganic stuff and they'll turn it into organic stuff, there's actually a full spectrum of even trace minerals and other nutrients in them as well. They're pretty amazing. We get them from Whole Foods.
Yeah, $1 oysters every Friday at Whole Foods.
Every Friday at Whole Foods, it's $1 a piece. So we got 2 dozen, 24 bucks, like smoking deal.
Smoking deal. You can't get oysters. And they shuck, if you ask them, they'll shuck them for you. All you gotta do is ask.
Yeah, it's so easy. So we make sure that if we're gonna get them shucked, that we're gonna come home and we're gonna eat them pretty soon, so that we don't, lose any.
Yeah, they put them on ice for you.
They do, which is phenomenal. So we're gonna go with this little guy right here.
So anyway, yeah, it's there's so many benefits to oysters though.
It's funny. I had somebody comment to me one time, like, "Oh, you post all these pictures of oysters, but I never see you eating them." Like questioning whether or not we're actually eating the real oysters.
We just buy them, take a picture, and throw them away. Yeah.
Isn't that silly? People are so
the
funny
truth is though, there's a lot of people that can't actually handle getting these down.
Yeah. What do we dip them in? So I sprinkle spritz a little lemon on them, and then the oyster sauce that we use, it's not carnivore, so carnivore please don't come after me. But it's the Primal Kitchen cocktail sauce. I have no affiliation with this company. Like I literally just dip my fork in the cocktail sauce and like scrape the oyster and then eat it. And there's next to nothing on there, but it just adds like a little bit of spice to it because there is a little bit of horseradish in it. And it's honestly pretty good. Like I literally just dip and scoop the oyster because they don't actually release the oyster when they shuck them for you. So you got to do that yourself.
Yeah. You want to tell them about the good news?
We got a lot of people in here? Yes. Okay. So here's the announcement, which I'm so excited for. I mean, I'm the worst at keeping secrets. Like the fact that I have kept this pretty much a secret for like probably 2 months is pretty extraordinary.
That is true.
I suck at keeping secrets. But we have been working on something that, again, it just goes with everything. And the reason that we launched it today on Oyster Friday is because it's actually our first oyster supplement. I'm so excited. I can't even like contain myself. It's called Oyster Boom. It is pure oyster powder, pure oyster extract. And it's just the coolest thing in the flipping world. I tested the product itself for a month or two before before we were like, yes, fully committed to this.
Yes, see the logo.
Yes, and it's our logo. It's our Harder, Happier, Healthier logo, which is our other company that we have together. I'm just so jazzed about this because there's so many people that comment on our oyster stuff every week, and they're like, I don't like oysters. I can't get them near me.
Yes.
They're so beneficial.
The people that have a hard time getting oysters down, this is it.
This
right
is our answer for you. Every serving has the equivalent of 7 massive oysters in it. The whole bottle has like 12 pounds of fresh oysters in one bottle. I'm super excited about this. We actually sourced them from Ireland, right? This isn't even like a US based thing. These are oysters from Ireland. Every batch is tested for heavy metals. I made sure that like this was going to be something that I felt super confident putting my name behind. The guy that actually owns the company that we sourced this from is a marine biologist, and he is as obsessed with oysters as I am. I'm just super thrilled about this because there's nothing like this. So like if you guys are my patients and you've been on Full Script, which is like this massive database of all the best supplements out there, there's not a single oyster product on there. Not a single one. No oyster products at all.
Yeah.
This is it. This is like the jazz. If you go on Amazon, you might see other like quote unquote oyster powders that try to be competitive. They all have fillers. None of them showed any like certificates of authenticity for heavy metals or anything like that.
Yeah, they don't test the actual batch to see what minerals and nutrients are in them, whereas these they do.
It's not even comparable. So we're super excited. We're launching this today. They are live on our website, and the link is actually in my bio. If you use the code SOLT, it's gonna get you a 5% discount, and there's also free shipping. Like I said, I'm just so excited about these. Like,
well, I don't know how many times we've ate oysters, and there's 10 people that come on and say, "Hey, I can't stand oysters. I can't get them down." Right, and I go over the benefits of them. It's like, well, this is perfect. It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with organ supplements. If you have a hard time eating liver, which I do, I have a hard time with liver.
It's just a different way to get in your nutrients. And if you guys have heard me talk on any sort of platform, you know how obsessed I am with minerals and how most of us are chronically mineral deficient.
Yep.
Ketones are a really good choice for repleting minerals. That being said, oysters are even going to be comparable to that because, again, they're going to be taking that seawater that the ketones are from too, because that's actually from plankton bloom, and giving you all of the main nutrients plus a lot of other trace minerals as well too. So we're like
super exciting.
So excited.
And we've actually been taking these for
about 2 months.
About 2 months.
Yeah.
And one benefit, I'm just going to say this, is kind of awkward, is her boobs have become a lot more perky. And like out of the blue, right?
Boobs.
And she's nursing too, so we don't like.
We don't have any high expectations for them, but
right. But the fact is that was the first thing that we both noticed. I was like, wow, I'm taking pictures. I mean, I take a lot of pictures of my wife, and I noticed that instant. I was like, your boobs look perkier, and we researched it, and that's actually one of the benefits of proper nutrients, proper minerals.
Yeah, there's so many things that we can go into, and I think I need to do like a longer form webinar on just like all the benefits of the minerals that are present in the oysters. But we think oysters. If you think oysters, what's the second animal that you think of? Rabbits. I'm just gonna go and say that because of the libido stimulation.
Oh. I get it.
That's a bonus, right? Like, what do oysters and rabbits have in common? That's the connection right there. So yes, there's going to be some really great positives for sexual health. And if you guys, know enough about what I do also in clinical practice, I do help guys recover from ED. That's the purposes of their company, right? Harder, Happier, Healthier. But anybody can actually benefit from taking oysters. Caveat, unless you have a shellfish allergy. Nothing I can really do for you there. But if you don't, this is going to be the jam. So again, you can get these, the link in my bio. Oh, and I almost forgot about this. So obviously when we want to promote our product, we think it's amazing. Like, we don't have any other products that we've put our name behind yet. We are trying, it matters to me to source this stuff correctly and to give you guys something that I feel confident taking. But so in order to help you guys even further, the first 20 orders are going to get a QR code in your package that's going to allow you to schedule a 20-minute coaching call with both of us. So we'll work with you for a solid 20 minutes on whatever pressing health issue that you need, and you get both of our expertises jumping in there.
Yeah, which is value.
Which is an insane value, yeah.
Worth more than the bottle.
It is totally worth more than the bottle of the oysters. Is it possible to have too many minerals daily? That's such a good question. I haven't seen that clinically yet as far as like excessive minerals as a broad spectrum thing. Now, can you overtake certain ones like magnesium, for example? Absolutely. You take too much magnesium, you're going to end up with loose stools. Zinc, for example, if you take too much of the isolated zinc, you could end up depleting your copper. So there is some balance to be maintained here, but if you are taking organic sources of minerals from something like an oyster extract or just eating oysters, you're not going to end up with any sort of mineral excess. In fact, higher doses of minerals are actually what's going to help your body to remove any heavy metals that are present there. Mm-hmm. So that's another positive for mineral repletion, and that's all something that's really missing from a lot of these like heavy metal detox protocols.
Usually, it seems like people are high in heavy metals and low in the nutrients.
And that's exactly it. The body will accumulate heavy metals in the absence of adequate mineral supplementation. Yeah. That's why you can have two people that have been, exposed to quote unquote heavy metals. One gets the symptoms and one doesn't, or one accumulates and one doesn't. It simply has to do with, well, what was your mineral status going into this? And the population that I see a lot that's at most risk of mineral status, decreased mineral status besides just plant eaters, is actually women who have had children. The act of growing another human being rapidly depletes your minerals because you have to literally build an entire new skeleton, an entire new set of muscles, all of the organs, from your stores. And most of the time, our food is so devoid in it anyway, simply because our soils are. So you have plant products that's grown in devoid soils, and then you're eating those plants, and then the anti-nutrients in those plants, like the oxalates, the lectins, the phytates, are actually blunting the absorption of any minerals that could be present in there. So it's just this like real incestuous sort of cycle of how our minerals are getting taxed. And this is the conversation that I see is really missing from nutrition at large, the carnivore community at large, the keto community at large. Everyone's doubling down on things like, electrolytes. Well,
I've never had, my whole time a carnivore, never had a problem with electrolytes. I don't know where that comes from.
He's been on ketones for years.
Yeah. Because I've always had like a mineral supplement.
Yeah, he's been on ketones for years.
Did you tell him the actual website to our?
The website is linked in my bio, but if you just want to check out our actual website, it's just harderhappierhealthier.com. And that's going to be the best one to look at. But yeah, we're excited. Like I said, first 20 orders, you're going to get a QR code in your package with a link to schedule a 20-minute coaching call with the two of us. Definitely worth more than the bottle, because that's yeah.
You're eating slow. Usually
I am eating slow. I'm talking to my friends.
She always gets
talking to all my friends.
She usually eats them super fast.
Yeah, you guys should see me. I usually crush these things super freaking quickly. Let me see if there's any other questions that came up in here. Please ask us questions.
Hey, I see your mom.
Yay.
Hi, Judy. I can't see anybody from the Facebook Live, so if you're asking questions, I'm sorry. It's on her. We're on her Instagram Live too, so we
are on my
two
Instagram
cameras
Live.
going.
Yeah, I mean, we're totally here for a Q&A. We're gonna try to stay on for time.
I'll post the links in.
We'll be saving this video, so you guys can always revisit this video. We'll be posting it to our YouTube, which if you're not following us on YouTube yet, just look us up there. It's Carnivore H3.
It's harder, happier, healthier.
Okay.
You can just look it up.
Just search us up on there. Dr. G. Hey, Dr. G. Good to see you on here. Oh, thank you so much for saying we're awesome. We're trying to support our community with things that, we think can actually be meaningful for you. Oh, you have another question on here. Can I lose weight by using magnets on my ears? That is a really interesting question. I've actually never looked into anything like that to see if that's a thing. Yes, Doc. We've talked about oysters. We've talked about minerals. You got to get yourself some oysters.
Yeah, the taurine too in oysters is pretty high too. It's super important for protein folding, for sleeping, and it's.
Taurine's notoriously very deficient in a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it's primarily in seafood.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get from enough of it from even animal based, but it doesn't exist at all in the plant kingdom at all.
It's true. Yeah. Almost no cocktail sauce on here. I literally just dip the fork in it enough to mess around with prying my oyster out of here, and then we.
Yeah. So good.
But yes, so if you guys have ever been curious about what oysters can do for your body, for your system, for your health, we have it available for you. Like, we have it available for you. Yes. And it's literally, again, 7 large oysters in a single serving for like $2. You really can't get a better deal. Like, we beat Whole Foods on that deal. What do you think about drinking seawater for mineral supplements? So the Quintons that I recommend, Quinton, they come in a hypertonic concentration and isotonic concentration. I've been using those since probably 2018 at least. And 2018 is when I discovered them. I love them. I love them because they come from a plankton bloom that actually filters seawater. They're amazing. They actually used to use those to actually replace blood volume loss in people because they're so close to the mineral concentration that's in humans.
It helps me sleep too. I take it before bed. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're seriously so freaking good. I've been obsessed with minerals since I started using those about 4 years ago. Making transition from keto to carnivore. Is it true if I do high-fat carnivore, I may not need HRT as a postmenopausal woman? Oh, that is such a good question. So menopause in general is a state that a woman enters when her body basically stops making, when she runs out of eggs and her body stops making estrogen, right? It's ovarian failure. So that being said, there is another way that people can actually make hormones, or in general. In women, we get hormone production from the ovaries, but we can also get hormone production from our adrenal glands. So they're the tiny glands that sit on top of our kidneys. And our adrenal glands can make pretty much all of our sex hormones. So do we have the ability to create those sex hormones or make those sex hormones ourselves as we age? Absolutely. High fat in a carnivore form is going to be the best option for getting you those adequate levels because you're going to be giving yourself the ingredients that you need. And the ingredient that you actually need for adequate sex hormone production is simple cholesterol. I know this is surprising for a lot of people, but cholesterol is actually very, very useful in the human body. It is used as a starting point of all of your sex hormones.
It's the most abundant nutrient in the body too.
Yep, so it makes your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone, your cortisol, your DHEA, your pregnenolone, like it makes everything. So yes, if you are getting adequate levels of cholesterol and then you're actually doing the things to help convert it, which is doing things like getting adequate sunlight outside, that'll actually help trigger the conversion in your cells to make all this stuff. You're gonna have a way better shot at easing through menopause with low symptoms than if you would to not do that, or if you were to just do the standard American diet. I think it's a really good question. I've noticed no more hot flash after eating carnivore for 2 months so far. Yes, that's amazing. It's because your body is now upregulating the ability to make that estrogen. So hot flashes, this is a cool distinction to make. Hot flashes are actually due to the deficiency of estrogen, whereas night sweats are the deficiency of testosterone. So that's actually a way to differentiate which one you might be low in.
Keep it to this.
Huh? What other questions do you guys have? I'm curious. I think I've got a few more oysters left in here too. So good.
Let's see if I got any questions on the Facebook. Oh, let's see.
Sometimes there's shelf fragments. What's our opinion on coffee enemas? Coffee enemas. I've tried them. So Zach, he's tried them before. I think that there's better ways to get the results that you're gonna get from a coffee enema without fast delivering a drug that bypasses your liver. I'm not opposed to them if done in the short term. It's very easy for people to get addicted to them. Coffee is also a massive depleter of minerals. Massive depletion of minerals from even just your morning cup of coffee. So this is another reason why I like to double down on minerals, because I have 8 to 10 ounces of coffee in the morning, and most Americans do. Another thing that drives mineral deficiency. Again, I could talk on this stuff all day long, and it's so interesting. I was just filmed for a documentary last week, and it was an anti-aging documentary. And we got into some of the questions, and it was I think it was very similar questions asked amongst all of the doctors that were being filmed for it. And at the end of the interview, they told me that I was the only one that actually touched on minerals. And I was like, this conversation needs to blow up. Like, it's going to. This conversation regarding mineral status is going to be the thing. And right now, everyone's only focused on magnesium.
Yeah, well, the thing is our bodies are there's 60 to 70 different minerals that are present in human tissue, right? And they're all super important for that purpose. So all your colloidal minerals, What do you got?
Well, cellulite disappear after being carnivore for a while. I definitely increased muscle. Oh my gosh, yes, cellulite can definitely disappear because cellulite is actually toxin buildup. So when your body starts really clearing out a lot of those toxins, you're gonna get rid of some of that.
Yep.
I like raw clams. Do oysters taste like clams? I've actually never had a raw clam to tell you if they're similar.
I don't know. I've only had them cooked.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a raw clam. But if you try and compare, definitely let me know.
Oysters, eating raw oysters is not for everybody, for sure.
So do I still drink coffee on carnivore? Yeah, and I actually cut back dramatically. So I'll tell you, I used to drink probably a 20-ounce cup of coffee every morning. Now I have an 8-ounce cup. I put like probably a tablespoon or 2 of heavy cream and then like 8 ounces of coffee. And sometimes I don't even finish the whole thing. But I've massively cut back. I tried quitting not too long ago. It did not go over well for everyone that was around me. So we're just back on that for now. But yeah, I do double down on minerals for that for sure. Will you continue the ketones along with the oyster supplement? I will. And so it's so funny. The ketones I take almost every day, just because it's there and it's convenient. But they're different. I really do think that they're different.
Do you want me to show you what they look like?
So the ketones are not going to have as high of a concentration as the zinc, selenium, copper, and iodine that the oysters do. Yes. Hi, Sabrina. I just saw you join. We're getting so excited for our interview with you in, I think, just like a week or 2, right? Yes. Oh yeah, this is what a box of ketone looks like. This is the isotonic. That's a vial of the hypertonic. If we take them, we usually take a hypertonic in the morning and an isotonic at night. Yeah.
Show you how you do it. You pop the top.
And pop the bottom. Thank you for
it's all glass.
Yeah, I mean, coffee, it's so pervasive as an addiction, a point of addiction in the society that we live in right now. And if you are going to drink it, like I really do recommend seeing if you can get a mold-free one, an organic one that's actually been tested to see if it contains, impurities and stuff like that.
The thing about coffee is that it's a lie that it gives us energy. It doesn't give us energy. It blocks our ability to get tired, which is completely different than giving you energy.
That's such an important point.
And the thing is we take it in the morning when our body is naturally already waking up and becoming and not being tired. So your what is it called? Adenosine?
Yep.
It's lowest in the morning anyway.
Yeah, I tried giving it up. It just wasn't happy for anybody. Yeah. Our herbal tea is okay. The reason that I'm not necessarily a fan of herbal teas is not because they're quote unquote very inherently bad for you, but because you're taking the leaf of a plant, right? Mm-hmm. And if we know anything about plant toxicity levels, it keeps a lot of toxins in its leaves because that's what it uses to breathe, right? Like that's what it uses to
the lung.
Change information, like taking the sunlight, exchange information. So if we're making a tea, same thing that we're doing with coffee, we're just kind of concentrating a certain level of toxins. If it's something that doesn't bother you though, then I would say maybe it's okay. And that's the other part of the conversation too, is that a lot of people make their way to carnivore because they've got some sort of health issue that hasn't been resolved with anything else. So they resort to this very extreme situation because their body has been sick for a very long period of time. That being said, the human body is meant to get rid of toxins. The human body is meant to process things, right? We have our lungs that can exchange toxins, our digestive system, our kidneys, our livers, our skin. All of these things are meant to help our bodies to eliminate toxins, with the goal being that yes, maybe we do carnivore as a way to really truly heal our bodies, and then we have the ability to enjoy these other things that may not be the best thing for us on an intermittent basis because we're healed. So the goal then is to get to the point where you are healed enough that if you want to have a cup of coffee or a piece of chocolate or even go buck wild and eat a salad, that your body's not going to freak the F out because
I think it would actually. Salad, if you haven't had salad in a long time, you don't know how
I have no desire
it is.
to eat a salad.
No, thank you. I think you should start eating the way you're going to eat for the rest of your life.
I think that if you had to make a transition to a type of dietary strategy that wasn't strict carnivore, I'm personally a fan of like the Weston Price approach, where it's all about ancestral foods and food products that might contain anti-nutrients prepared in ways that will actually reduce those anti-nutrient levels, such as things like fermentation. Mm-hmm. So that would be kind of the next step for the normalized stuff. Do you guys ever drink alcohol from time to time? Very rarely. We were just at an event last week where like every evening there was a gathering and there was alcohol, and they actually had the whole basic event was sponsored by a company called Dry Farm Wines, which they're the cleanest wines that you can possibly get.
There's a lot of additives, and all the wine that you see at the grocery store is all made in the same 3 or 4 different places and just with a different label on it. They use tons of additives. They use chemicals. They're super processed. That the reason why you get headaches is mostly because of the chemicals they put in it. So dry farm wine is there's no irrigation. So basically, dry farms means that they don't have to spray their crops with water. So there's no pesticides being used or sprayed on them. They're just a lot better quality.
Yeah,
and no preservatives at all.
When we were there, we both had like a couple glasses of their products because they were super, super clean. And that was it. I mean, we might drink alcohol less than once a month. Like we realistically,
usually less than that. Actually.
Less than that. It's super rare, and if we do, it's going to be the cleanest thing possible. And we usually both stop at like.
But we go into it knowing that it's bad for you. So it's not.
Yeah. Someone asked, do you find your stem cell patients are still having some flares or discomfort after the 9-week mark? So 9 weeks is early, all things considered. One single healing cycle takes a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks. And oftentimes there's so many layers of things for stem cells to undo that it can take about 6 months. This is why I track all my patients for 6 months, because I want to see the changes that are happening. So yes, it can for sure take more than 9 weeks. But that's also why in my stem cell program, what I do is I prep you really, really freaking well. So you have a whole bunch of modules that you actually will learn about, and you're gonna get taught about like mindset stuff, how to get into a healing state of mind, how to change your sleep so that you can actually heal your body. You learn about stem cell science and why things are working in the timeline that they're working. And then also we go into diet. So the diet stuff is basically an animal-based way of eating. So getting rid of all the anti-nutrients, anything else that can basically add to the inflammatory process that's happening in your body, we get rid of, so that by the time you actually come in for your procedure, we have basically settled down as much as we possibly could, and so only the real critical stuff is left for the stem cells to work on. And it's been pretty great. I just had a patient, her 1 month follow-up, just 1 month, her spider veins on her legs are just gone now.
I've heard all kinds of weird, from carnivore, the type of improvements that people get is things you wouldn't possibly even imagine. So.
Yeah. Yep. Let me see what else on here. I was getting headaches from coffee, so I switched to espresso. Yeah, sometimes espresso can actually be a lot better for people, especially if you grind the beans yourself. Because a lot of times if you're buying coffee that's pre-ground, that's like a breeding ground for mold. So very likely it could have been mold that was triggering those headaches. I went through a period of time when I was in college. I used to go to Starbucks every single day to do work and study, and I would have a headache every single day. And it wasn't until I actually went to an ND myself and they were like, well, yes, you're drinking the moldy ass coffee from Starbucks. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, Starbucks is the worst coffee.
So easy.
Starbucks is terrible.
Yeah, if we buy coffee.
You can't go to Starbucks and not get poisoned.
Yeah. Is it possible to get too much protein on carnivore?
No.
It really isn't, because your body's gonna stop you when you're full. Most people are severely under-proteined as it is. If you need more information on this, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon is a wealth of knowledge on this stuff. But so most people will require about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And honestly, you could probably get away with more initially because your body has so many repair processes that it has to catch up on that have been deficient over the years.
But if you're eating a species appropriate diet, which is meat, you will not overeat. You just can't. It's the only way you can overeat is by eating things that are not appropriate for your body, that don't properly signal. So if you sit down to a 3-pound ribeye, and 1 pound is what you're supposed to get in a day, you will stop at 1 pound. I mean, your body is intelligent. I was just talking to her about this the other day. Like, the only way you'll ever get a hangover is from plant-based foods.
Yeah, this is such a funny realization that he made. I think I need to make this into a post.
Yeah.
Only plants will give you hangovers.
Yeah. You never get a hangover from eating too much steak, but if you go to a restaurant, you eat, the whole thing of bread, you're going to feel terrible when you're leaving. Oh my God, my stomach hurts, right? We call it a food baby.
Yeah.
That only happens with plants, right? You do too much of any drug, you're going to have a hangover. drink too much wine, you have a hangover. So that in itself is like our response to our food tells us that we're not supposed to be eating these things.
Yeah. Should we track macros or just go by feeling? There was somebody else that commented, how do I begin? If you want to just re-comment with like, what do you mean specifically? How do you begin carnivore? How do you begin stem cells? How do you begin? Let me know. But should we track macros or just go by feeling? When you're just starting out, if you're not familiar with how your body is going to respond to the things that you're intaking, or you're just not quite sure if you are eating enough, because most of us are coming from a place where we were severely undernourished before, and we might not have proper signaling or hunger cues going on because our body was so used to the fake chemical signaling from the food-like products that we were consuming. It might be useful for you at the beginning, again, just to make sure that you actually are getting enough. And if you're not going to necessarily go wrong with just setting up your macros to initially include, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or your ideal body weight, right? So if you're a female and maybe you weigh 180 pounds and you'd like to be 150, that's going to be maybe your target goals, whatever that needs to be. And then of course, filling that in with your healthy sources of fat second, and really keeping carbs as low as possible. And again, if you are doing strict carnivore, there really isn't going to be any room for carbs on that anyway, because there really isn't a carb-based animal foods. There really isn't. But if you are just doing animal-based to start and you're kind of really easing your way in, maybe you're going to leave some of those carbs for things like berries or anything else that might be in season where you're at.
Yep. All right. What about oysters? Let's talk.
If you weren't on earlier, our oysters. Let me see another. How do I begin carnivore? I need to get off the American diet. I also have 3 children, a toddler. Listen,
we have videos on our YouTube channel.
Check out our YouTube channel. All your questions that you just answered, you can go and binge watch us if you like us. Go
harder, happier, healthier.
Yeah.
You search that, and it's an H3 and the
H3 logo.
I got tons of videos on how to get your kids on carnivore.
It'll tell you how to start. If carnivore's too hard, you can start here. We have videos of us talking about how we feed our kids on carnivore, how to have carnivore on a budget, everything that you could possibly know on how to start, do it. And then I should mention, again, every purchase of our new oyster supplement, at least the first 20 purchases, are going to get a QR code in their package that's going to allow you to schedule a 20-minute coaching call with the 2 of us. So solid value there, literally worth more than what you actually pay for this bottle, and you get the benefit of us and your bottle of oysters. So do not forget.
And the discount.
And the discount code, the code SOLT will actually get you 5% off. Let me see. Dr. Kiltz, hey. I'm excited to talk to you on Sunday.
Dr. Kiltz is the man.
YouTube. Oh my gosh, yes, that's how I got here, YouTube. Well, yes, thank you for being here. We're so excited. We try to do at least 1 video a week. We kind of missed the last 2 weeks because we were at a big event, and the week prior to that was my birthday. But this video is going to end up living on YouTube as well as on my page. And then we'll probably, actually, while you guys are here, there's a bunch of you, what video topic would you like to see on our YouTube? Drop that in the comments, because sometimes we guess, and sometimes they're big hits and people love them. We have one even on carnivore diet and your sex life. But if you guys want more topics, driving home listening, Dr. Kiltz, so happy to see you here. But yeah, tell us what you want to see on YouTube so we can be more strategic with the answers that we're giving you and how we're delivering that to you guys. We want to just make sure that we're keeping up with what people are interested in learning about.
Yep.
But yeah, this is website again, harderhappierhealthier.com. You'll see this is our only product on there because this is all we're starting with, because this is the only thing I can get my name behind right now.
Nobody else is doing it, and I think it's super important.
Yeah, nobody else is doing it. That's what I'm saying. If you go on Amazon and you try to find the closest comparative thing, one, you have to look at the serving size, because the serving size isn't even going to match up close. All those other companies on Amazon use fillers. There is no fillers in here whatsoever. It is literally just
And we know where
oysters.
these are sourced. We know where they
the
come
marine
from. We know how
biologist who runs the company.
Each batch is individually tested for metals. So it's...
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for Fitness with a Latina for saying those things. Oh, yes. What are some variations to this diet? Okay, so carnivore can sort of exist on a spectrum, with the definition of a hypercarnivore being somebody who consumes more than 70% of their calories from animal products. So that can even include eggs. It can include dairy if you tolerate it. It can include beef products, pork products, chicken products, fish products, seafood products, whatever it is. And then again, only 70%. So that means the other 30% of your diet can come from things like in-season fruit. It could come from honey if you want to use that as a sweetener, squashes. Really the only things that we're really trying to avoid as far as anti-nutrients go are your vegetables, your grains, your legumes, your nuts, and your seeds.
I just have to say this though, we've both evolved to the point where we eat much less. Like I don't.
I'd say I'm probably about 90% carnivore.
We're really close to 95. But I think as you go through it, and the more adapted you are to it, the more that your body doesn't want plants.
He brings up such a good point, because for me it was a really hard descent into it, and it took me a few months to fully give up rice and oats. Those were like the last two things for me. And now, like, there can be just food out that I might have used to eat, and it's
not food to you anymore.
I don't have any desire to eat it. And I came to this realization that carnivore kind of begets carnivore. The more you kind of descend to this, the more that you feel so good eating this way, that there really isn't another option left to you. Like, you know how that other stuff is going to make you feel, so you're just not going to do it. What are your thoughts on cheese? Cheese, if you can tolerate it, I'm good with it. This is the thing with dairy. So some people just have lactose intolerance. And if you go back on my post, I actually have a post about dairy, in that it's not just the lactose that's a problem for people. There's actually various protein structures in different types of dairy. So there's protein structures in yogurt, protein structures in milk, in different types of cheeses, whether they're soft cheeses, hard cheeses.
Dairy actually gives me heart palpitations. I'm actually allergic to now. And I never knew this in my until I went carnivore. And then, just eating dairy by itself is now an attack on my system. My body doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Yes. So I say all that to basically say that if you tolerate dairy and it doesn't bother you, you don't get any gut issues, heart issues, skin issues, brain fog issues, go for it. I can tolerate dairy in relatively small amounts.
Makes me mad.
But again, it could just be your lineage. I don't have any of I've done my genetic testing. I have no genes for the lactose intolerance. I have Icelandic heritage, like only one generation removed. So Vikings were very much about their skyr, their yogurt, their full fat yogurt. And I can tolerate that beautifully, and it doesn't bother me at all. But cheddar cheese gives me a problem, right? So again, it's all about finding what works for you. And if you are curious, if you have reaction to any other type of dairy product, if you go to my main website and to the order tests tab, there's a test on there called a dairy zoomer. And the dairy zoomer will actually test for all of those different protein structures in dairy and see if you are reactive to any of them. So you can test and know for sure. If you use the code YouTube in that testing portal, it'll actually get you, I think, $30 off any test of your choice. So definitely look into that if that's a thing. Should it be raw dairy? If you have access to raw dairy and it's easy and affordable, it's certainly a better option, because the enzymes that are naturally present in the raw dairy will help to assist your body in breaking down those protein structures. So some people can actually ease into eating regular dairy by using like raw dairy as their gateway sort of thing. Good question though. A lot of people don't have access to it. I forget what the website is, but there is just like a national website where you can go and like see if there's raw dairy near you.
I think our kids are getting...
Oh, hi Sherry. So nice to see you on here. Oh, I love Sherry. She's lovely. But yeah, let us know what other questions you guys have. I don't even know what time we're at.
I probably should go. It's always knocking on the door.
Nah, we kicked the kids outside so we could talk to you guys.
They've been playing. They're fine out there, but now they're starting to like make some eyes at us. Like, hey, why are we outside?
They actually really like oysters. Believe it or not, our children are like, there's like. They're probably gonna be bummed that we didn't save them any, and that's a bad mom move, but it's fine. But like normally they'll eat 3 or 4, sometimes a piece. Yeah. Forgive me, I keep finding your offices. Can you say the site once more? It's harderhappierhealthier.com. If you actually just go to the link in my Instagram profile, on the link tree, the first link will actually take you directly to the oyster supplement that we have on there. And if anybody is just joining us, this is our brand new oyster supplement that we're launching, and it's so exciting, and it's been a secret that I've kept for 2 months. And there's nothing like it right now because we actually brought this from Ireland. Yes, we're just so jazzed about this. First 20 purchases, you get a QR code in your package. It's going to allow you to book a 20-minute consultation with the two of us. totally worth more than the actual cost of the oysters, and you get both. Use the code SOLT for 5% off, and it is free shipping anywhere in the contiguous United States. We're super excited. Oh, yay, found them, yay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like just elated by this because, again, I took them for 2 months myself before I felt confident in telling anybody else to take them or anything like that. We noticed positive changes. Like, we're just thrilled. Like, we're just so excited about this because it matters to me. If you guys have ever heard me talk about supplements before.
What's cool about it is when she told me it was, I wanted to see the changes, but the actual, the benefit for both men and women in the bedroom is pretty significant. So that in itself was like, okay, yes, because it's a very common problem. Sex drive is declining in both men and women across the country because of all the toxins in our diet.
And just the low minerals.
Yeah, low minerals too. Yeah.
Like zinc is one of the best minerals for increasing sexual function, but only if it's in its organic form and there's adequate copper. Guess what has that in perfect ratios?
Yeah.
Oysters do.
I think did you take a picture of the
Yeah, so if you actually look at so it's so interesting because the actual values on the back of here were independently tested for this specific batch.
Yeah.
So because this is a real living product, some batches might be slightly different, but it'll always show you exactly what this is. And the marine biologist, the company that we actually source from in Ireland, they really do try to pick out from the fisheries and from the wild caught areas to make sure that they are getting the highest quality they possibly can. And while they can't tell you that it's always wild caught, this batch was 100% wild caught. He told me when I did a Zoom with him. So it's just really cool. I just feel so good about this, and I am such a supplement snob. All my patients know this. If you've had a consultation with me, I always dive into what supplements are you currently taking, who makes them, and I tell you why I don't like them specifically, because it matters that if you're putting something in your body, we want it to do the job it's intended to do, because I don't want you to waste your time or your money, because those are two very valuable resources. The whole purpose of a supplement should be to collapse time, to get you the results that you are looking for faster than you doing it on your own. And Dr. Kiltz is great for fertility. Yes, we have the endorsement from the Dr. Kiltz that it is great for fertility.
The main man, the fertility doc himself.
Yes. It's what part of the oyster? It's actually the whole oyster. It's not the shell. Not the shell, and I made sure to ask this when I was talking to the gentleman at the company. They make sure that it is not the shell. You're actually just getting the oyster itself. Every serving is equivalent to 7 large oysters. No upset tummies. What are capsules made from? So the capsules are a vegetarian capsule, and this is something that I had a conversation with them with. They simply just didn't have the ability to have gelatin capsules, but I actually have a call with somebody else today to talk about utilizing their company as a third party to actually encapsulate in gelatin. So this is my only thing, but we're trying to fix it up. And as far as upset stomach, no, you're really not going to get any upset stomach. The one thing that I would suggest, if you are worried about that, would be just having them with a little bit of lemon and water. That can actually help negate some of that if you feel like you might feel a little bit of an upset stomach with it. But the lemon and the water is also going to help the absorption as well. Oysters really do get best absorbed with a source of acid. This is why you see them often served with mignonette sauces and vinegars and things like that. What else we got? Let me see. Let's see if there's another question. Otherwise, we will let you guys get back to your day. We finished all our oysters. I mean, would anybody else hit the like button? Would you guys be in to do another oyster happy hour another
every
time?
Friday happy
I mean, we could do Oyster Friday happy hour almost every Friday. I mean, we do this anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it was fun to share this time with you guys. I love doing Q&As. Okay, I can sprinkle on my food because some veg capsules. Yes, totally, because it's literally just pure oysters. You could mix it into ground beef. You can absolutely do that. There's zero fillers. There's nothing else in them. It is just pure oyster powder. So yes, definitely sprinkle it on something else, mix it in, whatever you got to do. So yeah, I'm with you. That was my only thing with this. Besides that, a lot of people are totally cool with veggie capsules, but I personally, just for my own sake, and
gelatin's better. Yeah.
I want the gelatin. So again, we have a call with that guy today, but our first batch is coming to you in veggie caps. So yeah. Any other questions before we sign off? Thank you so much for taking your time. Oh, you're so welcome. We love doing Q&As. We're always, sorry, I'm late. What is it good for? So oysters are really, really rich in minerals. They're great for sexual health. They're fantastic. This video is gonna relive on my Instagram page, so you guys can just jump on and watch it again to get all the benefits. It's also gonna live on our YouTube channel. And there is some benefits listed on the website. Again, it's harder, happier, healthier. First 20 orders get a QR code in your order that's gonna get you the ability to schedule a 20-minute consult with the two of us completely free. If you use the code SOLT, you get 5% off your order. We're just super jazzed to hear the feedback on this, to see you guys like, yeah.
It does have an effect. It really does. Because if on a day that I forget to take it, I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just the minerals themselves are a huge benefit.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna grab my phone. I think we got everything. Well, again, it was so much fun getting to hang out with you guys. If you missed part of this video, definitely come back and watch it. We had other cameras recording for our YouTube channel, so it'll live on there. And yeah, better than liver. This is so true, right? So true, because you're not gonna get any toxicity. There's not gonna be any vitamin A toxicity with this like you could get with your liver. So again, if you guys wanna comment on the video once it's done too, Dr. Kiltz, I'll see you on Sunday as well. I'm so excited for that. And yeah, let us know what other content you guys wanna see on our YouTube channel or even on Instagram. We try to share as much as we possibly can, but our kids are yelling at the door, so it's time to let them in. All right, bye guys.